Hey there, everybody. Let me pop in on here in the camera. I wanted to have this playing in the background a little bit to tell a bit of a backstory. This is our 1997 Ford Econoline E150 Mark III conversion van. Some of the footage you're viewing here is from down the road from our house in Limerick, Maine. That's where I shot some of this footage out at the Mount Washington Lookout. I wanted to jump on here and share a story. This is something that me and my wife have gone through, and I just wanted to share this with you guys about this van and why it's very special to us and why essentially we'll never end up selling this van. So it was right after COVID, and I was looking for a change, and my wife was looking for a change, and we had started to rekindle a relationship that had began years and years before, and for whatever reasons that I won't get too far into just for the sake of time on this video, we had ended up talking again, and she was living in New England and in Maine, and I was in Florida, and I was really looking for a change and a different pace in life. And we were talking, and she's like, maybe you come out to New England. So I was like, give me a month and I'll get rid of the stuff and kind of get things into a smaller scale, and we'll do it. So I moved out to New England shortly after and moved in with some roommates and was doing a rooming house there, and started working really quickly when I got into New England. And for whatever reasons, roommates fell through, and we needed to get out of the place that we were living at. And it was summertime, and prices of everything were going up. And I had the great idea that we get a conversion van, and us and the dog do the conversion van and move and live in all the different camps around New England. So that is what we did all summer. So we went and looked at 3 or 4 different vans, and most of them were leaky and rusty and crusty and all that good stuff. And I found this one on the old Craigslist. It was in Connecticut, and it was a very well loved. All the service records are with it, and yeah, you could tell all the paperwork trail and everything that went with this van. Someone really loved it and took care of it. Hadn't been through the north and through rust very much, and the frame is beautiful and it's not rusty, and this van is very nice. So we've now had this van for 6 years, and so 6 years ago, I think we paid $3,900 for that van, for this van, and it's got the 5.4 Triton V8 in it, and it's great. It really doesn't require very much, and we put a little bit into it here and there, but had brand new tires, and I've had the brakes all redone, and it's got a aftermarket intake, aftermarket air filter in it, and I'm getting ready to do some exhaust. And the interior is all original and very nice, and we love it. And this is one of the huge reasons why we'll never get rid of it. So I found us doing the cam thing, and then wintertime was approaching, and we needed to find a place to get into, and we ended up finding this place that we're still living in now. And this was our home away from a home, or whatever you want to call it. This is how we were able to take a situation where roommates wanted to relapse on drugs, and that's how it panned out. Is roommates relapsed on drugs, and us being sober and into our sobriety. We had to get out of there, and we had to find something quick and do it then and really fast, because it was turning into a bad situation where people were going to end up getting hurt and stuff like that. So this van really saved our life and got us out of a pickle. So me and my wife and our dog Nala, we lived in this, and I worked a full-time job. My wife worked a full-time job, and we stayed at camps, and it was fun, and it was really great, and we have so many awesome memories in this van, and we always will. And that's why I wanted to make this video about, I don't know, sentimental value when it comes to stuff. I would be hurt if something happened to this, but it is just possessions. But this was our home, and now we have a camper here at the house, and you know what I mean? Just be prepared is what I knew in the long run. Like, we would stay in the van for the summer and get into a winter rental and get into a permanent living situation, in which we did. But I knew that that van would be perfect for us. And, you know, it just doesn't have a bathroom and a toilet and stuff like that. But that's what the camps all had, showers. And now having the camper, we have a shower, we have a bedroom, and we have 2 bedrooms essentially with this van. You hook the camper up to it. You got the bed, the queen size bed inside the van. Then we have another queen size bed inside our camper, a bathroom, a living room. Yeah, so you know, in the future, things to come, I am heavy on prepping and staying ahead on things if I can. And you just never know when you might need to hook it up and just leave. Not saying just by myself or whatever, but you know, things happen and life changes, and you gotta roll with the punches. So between the van and the camper, we really are pretty covered. Even with 2 dogs and 2 cats, if we had to live in that situation, we would make it work. And in New England with the snow and stuff, that's kind of out of the question. But I know that this is a little bit longer of a video, but I wanted to share some of this with you guys. Plus, there's beautiful views in this video, and if you don't want to look at me up here, I understand. But we love this van, and I urge you guys, everyone out there that's like, I don't know, we're a single couple. We don't have any kids other than our fur babies. So options are open a lot as far as that goes. We really are not planning on having any kids, and this kind of lifestyle may not suit everybody that has kids, unless you're doing more of a larger scale, maybe a 5th wheel and a big truck and something like that, if you wanted to have something huge to pull around. But for us, this van and a 24-foot camper and 4 animals, we really would have no problem making that work. And we definitely did not have a problem making this van and 2 adults work. We slept in there fine. I got up for work and got dressed. I had a nice tent, a big 24-foot long tent that connected to the side of the van. That you open up the doors, and we had our own privacy and everything, and it was great out in the wilderness. Like, staying out in this stuff is just beautiful, you know what I mean? Once again, not for everybody, but literally all of that forest land you see behind you, behind here in this footage, I've literally stayed out in camps and camp parks and RV parks and glam camps. And like, I don't really recommend that kind of shit of the side of it. Like, stay away from the glam camps, but go find those private retreats and get away and go stay. Even if you are working full time, like, it was awesome. I would get off of work and we would make some food in tinfoil and wrap it up with some potatoes and chicken and just grill out and have a nice campfire. And it was really, really nice. You know, I urge you, if you ever want to do something different, to get out there and do it. may not just be the van life. It may not just be the RV life. It may be both of them. You know what I mean? Or whatever it is. But get out there in the mix and do something, and don't be like everybody else and just complain and not try to do something. This this scenario with us living in that van was kind of, it was God ultimately. You know what I mean? That guy, our roommate, wanted to throw his shit away and relapse back on the drugs, and we were not going to be around that. And it kind of forced our hand in a sense, but you know, things happen for a reason, and you got to roll with the punches. And we're in a way better situation coming from that situation. So, hey, if we could flip it, you can too. I'm going to let this video end on this note. Positivity goes a long, long way in life. As far as your work, your relationships, your friendships, your just sense of being and your happiness. I am guilty of it myself. I get down and I get very, very stressed about things in life and our government and all of the stuff that's going on right now in this world. I get really, really invested into it, and like, not invested into the government and the politics and that kind of shit. I stress out over money and bills and life and things that I don't really have a choice in changing, or I can't do anything about it. So that's a huge thing for me, is coming to my senses when it comes to that. I really try to stay as positive as I can about life and things as in general. Lately, it's just been so crazy with getting let go from a job and starting another job and trying to bounce back. It's been real difficult. I'm not on here asking for handouts, and I'm not starting to GoFundMe for me. And I was on unemployment for a little while just here recently. Needed some help for a few weeks until I got into another job. The food stamp thing that's going on right now, I urge everybody just to pray for everybody and try to be sensitive to that. It's just ridiculous that like 30% of our country is really the 30% is like people that really need the shit, and the other 70% more so is just, what are we doing? But not to get on the politics, I was hoping you guys would subscribe and like this video if you did, if you like this story. Let me know in the comments, and we'll see you in the next one.